Welcome to Cory's Stories. Are you ready to meditate with Cory? Hi friend, don't forget to subscribe, say that you like the video, and also press the bell so that you get notifications every time I make a new video. If you love Heidi, Cherry, and Vaya, or Tucker and Leo stories, you can now get exclusive stories on my Patreon account. Go to the links below the video and you can join Heidi, Cherry, and Vaya Club or the Tucker and Leo Club and get exclusive stories with your names in them. I love you all so much. Enjoy the story. Bye, friend. Are you ready to meditate with Cory? Make sure that you're all snugly and warm in your bed, that the light is just right in your room so that you can relax your body and let go of your busy day. Heidi, Cherry, and Vaya had gone over to Tucker and Leo's house. Kitty, Mr. Kitty, was still upstairs. He was still living at their house. He'd still not gone downstairs completely. Sometimes he would go all the way down the stairs, but that was it. He still wasn't walking around in the living room or anything like that. Heidi, Cherry, and Vaya wanted to meet Mr. Kittens. Cherry said, "So, tell me all about him. Now, what's he like?" Leo said, "Oh, he's kinda keeps himself to himself." Tucker said, "Cherry, I don't know what it is, but he won't let me be friends. He won't be friends with me, Cherry, and I've tried so hard. And I mean, you know what I'm like with kittens. Except for Heidi and Vaya and you. I mean, I do still like the smell of kitties as if they're like a snack or something. And I do like to think about chewing on you guys sometimes, but you know me. You know me. You know I never would. You know I never would. I'm like friends with you guys now, but Mr. Kitty, he just won't let me be friends. He won't let me. He doesn't trust me, and I don't even think he likes me very much because whenever he sees me, he goes like that. And sometimes, like he's walking down the stairs, and the baby gate's at the bottom of the stairs, so I can't get on the stairs, and I can't run after him. Even though sometimes I forget myself and I bark really loud at him, and then he goes like that, and then I go, "Oh, sorry, Mr. Kitty, I just lost myself there for a second, and come downstairs, come and be with us, come and play with us." But really, I think he knows that I want to chew on him a little bit. Cherry said, "OMG, Tucker, control yourself. I mean, how come you can do it with us, but you can't do it with them? Like, okay, let's just practice for a second, right? I'm a kitty. I smell like a kitty. I could be Mr. Kitty. And look at me. I'm walking around you. I'm going through your legs and round your legs and between your legs." Cherry was slinking away through Tucker's legs as he was standing listening to her. Tucker started giggling. "Oh, Cherry, that tickles." "No, Tucker," said Cherry. "No, it doesn't tickle. It's actually just very normal. I'm not tickling you. I'm not smelling like a bacon snack. I'm not doing anything that could tempt you. You have to stay very controlled. It's about control, Tucker. It's about control." Tucker said, "Oh, I don't have that much control, Cherry. You go meet him. You see what you think. You might be able to talk him into being friends with me. He might be friends with me if you go play with him and talk to him and tell him how nice I am and tell him that I've never, ever, ever chewed on you. Tell him that, Cherry. Tell him." Cherry said to Heidi and Vaya, "Come on. It's time. Let's go meet Mr. Kitty. Let's go meet him and tell him that Tucker and Leo can be very nice. Leo said, actually, I'm okay with not meeting Mr. Kitty. He makes me nervous. The last time he almost came downstairs, I could smell him and I was thinking about what Tucker was going to do, and I was thinking about how Tucker was going to probably chew on him, and that gives me anxiety. And then I tried to hide behind the chair because I don't like it when he goes like that, and it makes me shiver, and then I get all hivey and nervous and scared, and yeah, I'd rather Mr. Kitty just stay upstairs. Cherry said, Leo, don't you worry. I'll keep him upstairs. I won't bring him downstairs for you, but if I do bring him downstairs, I'll say, Tucker, come to the bottom of the stairs, and I'll say, Leo, stay away. Leo nodded, as if to say, okay then. Heidi, Cherry, and Vaya went upstairs. The door was close to Isabel's room, so they knocked on the door. Mr. Kittens meowed. Cherry said, meow. But really, she said, Mr. Kittens, this is Cherry. I'm a friend. I'm also here with Heidi, and I'm here with Vaya. And we're here to say hello and to just hang out and get to know each other and all that. Can you open the door, please? Heidi said, hi, this is Heidi. And yeah, we're just coming to say hi. Tucker and Leo are downstairs. They're nowhere near. Vaya said, hello, yes, my name is Vaya, and yes, it would be really nice to meet you. Could we come in? The door slowly opened, and there was Mr. Kittens, Mr. Kitty. Mr. Kitty is a grey cat. He's like a shadow colour. He has grey-blue eyes that are very similar to the colour of his fur. He's quite slender and slinky-looking. Mr. Kitty, at one point, must have had some kind of car crash or something happen to him when he lived on the streets, because part of his jaw is a little bit crooked, which gives him a certain charm. Cherry saw him first. She swooned. Oh, she thought to herself, he's kind of cute. Mr. Kitty stood there, very nonchalant, quite aloof, a little bit like he really didn't have time for this and he really didn't want to talk to anybody. Heidi stepped forward and said, hi, I'm Heidi. So, how's it doing being here and everything? Are you liking Isabel's room? Mr. Kitty looked about as if he was looking around his new place of living. He nodded. Cherry spotted his cat bed. Ooh, OMG, that looks so comfy. Do you mind if I have a try? She pushed away past Mr. Kitty and Heidi and went and dived on Mr. Kitty's bed. She was rolling around in it. It was all soft and fluffy, and she liked it a lot. Vaya just kind of hung back, a little bit shy at first. Mr. Kitty didn't seem to mind that Cherry was rolling all over his bed. There was lots of places in Isabel's room that were comfy looking, lots of pillows and fluffy blankets, and he also had one of those things that stick to the window that he could lay on, so he could lay as if he was looking outside. Vaya stepped into his room. Oh, very nice. Methinks this is a very nice place to stay. Mr. Kitty looked at Vaya and said, yes, it's not all bad. She was surprised by his voice. His voice was calm and soft, a lot softer than what his appearance looked like. To her, with his jaw being a little bit crooked and his aloof energy and stance, she thought he was going to be quite cold and mean, But he didn't sound cold and mean. He sounded quite nice, she thought. Isabel had a table with a lot of crystals on it. Vaya liked crystals, so she walked towards that table. She jumped up and sniffed them and sat there and looked at them all, pawing at different ones. Mr. Kitty said, "Oh, so you like crystals?" "I like crystals," he said. "Especially this one." He jumped upon the table next to her and pointed with his paw to a rose quartz that was in a heart shape. Vaya blushed a little bit. She liked that one too, she said. Heidi said, "Oh, I like that Isabel's got lots of books in here. Do you like books, Mr. Kitty?" "I love to read." Mr. Kitty said, "Yes, I do actually." Heidi blushed. Mr. Kitty likes to read, she thought inside. Ooh, that's nice. We have something in common, she thought to herself. Cherry said, "Do you mind if I sit in your window seat? It looks really nice. Does it feel like you're laying outside when you sit in it?" Mr. Kitty said, "Yeah, you can sit in my window seat. Try it. It's fun." Cherry thought to herself, "Ooh, he likes window seats, and I like window seats. Ooh, we have something in common." She jumped up onto the windowsill and then jumped into the window seat and laid down and got comfortable in it. "OMG, this is lovely. I'm going to have to tell Mum. Mum could get us one of these for our room." When she settled completely, she stared out of the window. She was watching the birds flying in the sky. It was really comfortable. Cherry said, So, Mr. Kitty, tell us all about the fact that you're not going downstairs. Tucker is our friend, you know, and I know he can be a little bit scary and a little bit aggressive, and I know he looks like he's going to chew you at any second. Trust me, it took me ages to get used to it. But, you know, it's not like that, really. Deep down inside, he's so soft and sweet, and I don't think he'd hurt you at all." Mr. Kitty said, "Yeah, well, he kind of looks like he looks at me as if I'm a chicken nugget or something. I don't really like that. I'd rather stay away." Cherry said, "Well, you know, it's funny, I can't really argue with that, because Tucker does look at you a bit like a chicken nugget. He has this thing where he looks at everything as if it's food. In fact, Tucker's very food-driven. He does like his food. You know, you'd probably be best to shout down and say, Mum, can you feed Tucker, please, a lot of food before I come downstairs, and then we know he's full. But you know what? Thinking about it, Mr. Kitty, I don't think Tucker would ever get full. I think he'd be one of those dogs that just eats and eats and eats and eats and eats. Kind of like a tick. He'd just eat and eat and eat and eat, and his belly would get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then eventually he'd just explode, and then you'd have dog food and chicken nuggets and bits of cats and bits of puppies. No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't really eat puppies or cats. But they'd be all over the walls, and it'd be like a crime scene. It'd be so disgusting. But yeah, I do actually think that Tucker can't get full. So, yeah, I know what you mean. I kind of have to agree with you about the chicken nugget stare. He does have a very intense chicken nugget stare. But Leo's not like that. Leo's actually quite the opposite. Leo's very shy, very timid, very anxious. In fact, Leo doesn't really want to meet you, Mr. Kitty. I'm sorry about that. Mr. Kitty, I think you frightened Leo a little bit. Mr. Kitty shrugged his shoulders. Oh, that's sad. It's unfortunate, but, you know, that's just the way it is. Heidi said to Mr. Kitty, as she was pulling one of the books off the shelf, "Have you read this one?" Mr. Kitty nodded. Heidi swooned again. "Oh, he's read my favourite book," she thought to herself. Heidi said, "Well, maybe we could have a cup of tea sometime and talk about, your favourite parts of it and everything. Mr. Kitty said, Yeah, that'd be nice. Vaya had jumped off the crystal table onto Isabel's bed. She was sat on the pink, fluffy blanket. Mr. Kitty jumped up and sat next to her. So, Vaya, tell me about yourself. Vaya blushed. Well, I like lots of things. I like to dress very much like a princess, and I like romantic comedies. I like, pink. I like the colour pink. Mr. Kitty said, Oh, nice. I like romantic comedies too. Vaya's eyes got a little bit bigger. Oh, he likes romantic comedies like I do, she thought to herself. All three of them, Heidi, Cherry, and Vaya, were all just a little bit smitten with Mr. Kitty. What were they going to do? Mr. Kitty lives in Isabel's bedroom. He doesn't go out. He doesn't go downstairs. He doesn't go to cat club. He doesn't go to the park. He doesn't go anywhere. He just kind of lives in there. How are they going to see him again? How are they going to be with him? Heidi was wondering when the next time she could come over to Tucker and Leo's house so she could have a cup of tea and talk about Pride and Prejudice, her favourite book, and the fact that Mr. Kitty also had read Pride and Prejudice. What's the odds? They were meant to be, she thought to herself. Vaya was internally wondering when Mr. Kitty could possibly dress up like a prince, and they could play out some kind of rom-com together. She would wear her purple dress with lilac diamonds all over it. She was lost in her own thoughts, thinking about how wonderful it would be. Maybe they could do like a dance scene and she'd be swirling and twirling and spinning around on the dance floor with him. Cherry was laid looking up at the sky, wondering if he was the type of cat to go skydiving with her. That would be the perfect date, she thought to herself. She looked down at him. She liked his grey fur, and she actually liked his crooked jaw. It made him look a bit serious and, dangerous. She liked that. Anyway, after a while, all three of them went back downstairs to Tucker and Leo. Tucker said, Well, is he coming? Is he coming? Did you tell him how awesome I am? Did you tell him that I wouldn't eat him? Did you tell him he'd be safe with me? Cherry said, Unfortunately, Tucker, he noticed that you do have a bit of a chicken nugget stare. Tucker said, Oh no, he noticed? I can't help myself. You guys know I can't help it. It's just me. It's who I am. I like chicken nuggets. Cherry said, Well, yeah, unfortunately though, Tucker, it's going to take some getting used to, so maybe we need to come over a lot more often so that we can make friends more and more with Mr. Kitty, and then eventually he'll decide he's okay with coming downstairs to be with all of us. Just be really good. It'll be good, just trust us. We'll have to come every day. Heidi said, Yes, we'll have to come every day. Vaya said, Oh, yes, yeah, definitely. I think it will take a daily visit. All three of those kitties had plans. Plans for Mr. Kitty. Plans of their own. Romantic plans. They all liked him in their own way. Crazy. We'll just have to see what happens. The end.